Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back into yet another video. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Guys, today we're just going to be talking about some stuff. We're going to be going over the Alex Bregman signing because I'm a Red Sox fan and I'm pumped about it. And we're also going to be going over the Pecota projection standings. Now, these are being updated like every single day. At least I think. Maybe like every 3 days. I don't know. But Draft Deck Mark did something on them at the beginning of the month, and they were absolutely terrible. They had the Red Sox at 74 wins. They've updated a little bit, and they might have gotten worse. So, yeah. Here we go. Let's.
Dead, yo, so I continue to A1A. Girls were hot, wearing less than bikinis. Rockman lovers, driving Lamborghinis. Jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. Shade with the gauge and vanilla with the 9. Ready for the chumps on the wall. The chumps acting ill cause I'm full of 8-ball. Gunshots ranged out like a bell. I grabbed my 9, all I heard was shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed. I'm trying to get away before the jackers jack. Police on the scene, you know what I mean? They passed me up, confronted all the dope fiends. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
Let's take a walk. But first, let's get into the Alex Bergman signing, like I said. So, I really have 3 things I want to go over. We're going to talk about production, culture, and just the overall signing. I'm actually going to start with the overall signing first. What I mean by that is the contract. So, the contract goes 3 years, $120 million. That's $40 million a year, technically. But some of this money is deferred. And there's opt-outs after every single season. So, it's honestly the best case scenario, if we're being completely honest, though, for the Red Sox and for Alex Bregman, because Bregman can leave whenever he wants. It's a short-term contract, he's getting paid a lot. Like eventually, maybe not like right now, he's getting paid $120 million, but eventually he'll get his full contract and being paid $120 million. But it's the best case for the Red Sox, and what I mean by that is, for the short term, you're getting a player who can lead a clubhouse, a young clubhouse at that, and can absolutely mash the play with like 40 jacks. At least that's what I think is going to happen for his first season at Fenway, because if you guys have seen Alex Bregman's numbers at Fenway, it's diabolically good. I don't even know if that's a term, but still, he's hitting around like 500 with 9 home runs. Let's actually look it up. All right, here we go. We got it. And we got all-time ranks too. So his career at Fenway Park, I think has around 75 he has 80 plate appearances. He's batting 300. He's batting 375, so that's 30 for 80 on 490 on base percentage. So he's getting on base 49% of the time. A 750 slugging percentage that will equate to a 1240 OPS, and that is first all time in Fenway Park history. 7 home runs, 9 doubles, 15 RBIs. So Alex Bregman is a amazing hitter at Fenway Park. He is mashed whenever he has came over here. This is his career, by the way. This was his playoffs and regular season. So when he came here for playoffs that one year, when he absolutely mashed, that's also being accounted for. So that might be part of why his stats are so ballooned, because he had such a crazy playoff series back in 2021 when he came to Fenway. But we're not going to sit here and act like that isn't absolutely crazy, and how good Alex Bregman is at Fenway Park. So, honestly, man, like, it's a great signing for that, like, for the overall production. I know the price is a little bit out of hand. Like, did he get overpaid? Yes, but he's gonna help your team. And I want to get to the next part of this culture. Dude, Alex Bregman is a punk. I'm playing it simple. And the Red Sox really do need a guy like that, honestly. Like if you think about it, the Phillies have their guy, Bryce Harper. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of good teams have a punk, guys like Bryce Harper, and in our case, guys like Alex Bregman. So I'm feeling high about this. And also, you got a guy he has a ton of playoff experience. He's won 2 World Series, been in the playoffs 8 out of 8 years of his career. He knows how to win, and he knows how to lead. And the Red Sox are a younger clubhouse, like I said earlier. I mean, you got guys like Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony coming up. Cedar Rafael is already there. Wilyer Abreu, a finalist for Rookie of the Year last year. It's a young clubhouse, and Devers is only like 26. So I bet Devers can learn a lot from Alex Bregman in terms of leading, because once Bregman leaves, if he does, then it's Rafi Devers' team from here. And right now it's Bregman's team, but in the future, it's definitely going to be Rafael Devers' team for sure. Sorry. All right, so what do I overall think? Overall, man, this is a hell of a signing. I got to be honest with you guys. In terms of, like, for the short term and for the long term, this is an A+ signing. Maybe the price could have been a little bit better. Maybe that could have been manageable, but At the same time, you're saving money in the present too. So while Alex Bregman is still here, hopefully he opts in to the second year of his contract. It's perfect for both sides. That's really what I'm trying to say with this contract. So overall, I'd give it definitely an A+ for sure. All right, now we got the Pecota standings. Now these are just projections, okay? Like I'm not gonna harp on them too much because they're just projections. But also like Pecota is a very reliable source when it comes to this stuff. There's a lot of stuff I really don't agree with, so we're going to kind of run through it. If I don't say anything about it, that means I like it, and of course if I say something, that means I don't like it. Maybe even I'll say, like, for a team, they'll be like, yeah, I mean, I like it, so let's go. We'll start in the AL East like we always do. Coming in 5th place for them, the Boston Red Sox. They currently have them finishing around 80 and 82, with a 22.6% chance to to make the playoffs. They're taking in the Alex Bregman. At least I'd hope they take the Alex Bregman signing into consideration. At least like put them into their standings, into their projections. At least I'd hope they would account for it, but they definitely did not, because they're at least an 85-win team with the offseason that they've had. This offseason, honestly, before they got Bregman, was just honestly a failure. Like, Garrett O'Shea was a good trade, but we didn't really do much outside of that. But now Alex Bregman, right-handed bat was the biggest thing the Red Sox needed, and they got it in a big way. So honestly, I disagree with this. We're already starting off hot. Red Sox are probably going to win 87 games. They're probably going to make the playoffs. At least I hope they make the playoffs with Alex Bregman and all that. Yeah, I don't like this one. Next up, in 4th place, according to them, the Tampa Bay Rays. They have them finishing around 82 and 80. I don't hate it for the Tampa Bay Rays, honestly. I see a bounce-back season from Josh Lowe that might add a win or two, but I like it overall. In 3rd place, they have the Toronto Blue Jays. They're really bouncing. They're really looking for a Bo Bichette bounce-back season. They have them finishing 85 and 77. I don't hate it either for the Toronto Blue Jays. I think that their pitching staff is going to take a bit of a dip. So maybe a little bit lower, maybe like 80. I think they tie with the Rays in terms of 82 wins, but Bo Bichette is going to have a bounce-back season. I think the Blue Jays are going to be better than last year for sure, but I don't think they're going to be anything above 83 wins, and Pecota has them at 85. In 2nd place, we got the Baltimore Orioles. They currently have them around 89 wins, 89 and 73 in this case, with a 74% chance to win the playoffs. To make the playoffs. I like it, to be honest. I mean, like, the Orioles are a good team. There's no denying it at all. 89 wins actually seems really good. And then in 1st place, the New York Yankees. They have them around 90 and 72, which I think is also pretty good. Losing Juan Soto may drop them a couple of less wins, but also let's just think about it. From a money standpoint, you definitely got opened up with Juan Soto leaving. So much money on the table that the Yankees can use to go after other players and try to buy another championship. But yeah, New York, I mean, 90 and 72 seems quite good for them. I might put them at like 94, maybe because they are a good team. Their pitching is always going to be good. So maybe around 94, but yeah, the Yankees are definitely going to win the division this year for sure. I hate that, but yeah. Let's go to the NL East, actually. We'll just do them cross. I don't know why I'm doing it, but here we are. In 5th place, they have the Miami Marlins around 62 and 100. Yeah, around like 62 and 100. They don't have a playoff percentage at all for them. But honestly, I think maybe a couple more wins, maybe like 65, but don't expect anything big out of the Marlins. I mean, it's going to be how it is every single year, where at least like to trades last year, I was going to say trade deadline, but Luis Arraez got dealt in the month of May. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. In 4th place, we got the Washington Nationals. They have them currently slated around 67 and 95 with a 0.5% chance to make the playoffs. I disagree with this one. This is like one of the biggest ones I saw, and I was like, dude, red flag. I completely disagree with it. I think the Nationals are an 80-win team, especially with how they were last year, how strong they finished last year, how their pitching rotation is definitely boosted this year. A full season of Dylan Cruz, a full season of James Wood. There's no way the Nationals are winning 67 games. They're going to win a lot more than that. I have them at 81 and 81, which I think is fair. Yeah, this one I definitely disagreed with for sure. Just so many young guys getting, like so many young studs. We're getting a full season of them, and the Nationals are somehow going to be a lot worse. I'm trying to do the dog side eye, but I can't. All right, number 3, we got the Philadelphia Phillies. You see, I actually agree with this one. They have them slated at around 85 wins. So that means around 77 losses. I really do actually like this one. This one I was kind of... I'm really down on the Phillies this offseason, I'm not going to lie. They really didn't do anything. Alec Boehm crashed out, and now he doesn't look the same at all. Nothing is going right over in Philadelphia, it seems like. Right now, like, Trey Turner's falling off. The only really guy you got right now is Bryce Harper. Like, Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola are both getting older. I see down years from them. I really do actually like this projection by Pecota to have them at 85 wins and 77 losses. 52% chance to make the playoffs. I like that. Yeah, I'm really not on the Phillies this year. I'm not really high on them. So when it comes to like my predictions for the season, I'll probably have the Phillies at around where Pecota has them. So I completely agree with it. Number 2, I've got number 2, Pecota has New York Mets. 92 wins, 70 losses, 84% chance to make the playoffs. I like it. Honestly, like the Mets last year, with how they did, I think they won around 89 games. Don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. You know what? Let's just look it up. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow, I was right on the money. Mets won 89 games. Oh, my goodness, I was right on the money. I did not think I was going to get that. But still, I think, honestly, with Juan Soto, let's say he's like a 5-WAR player, so that means the New York Mets are going to win 94 games. All right, so around 92 to 94, I like this one from Pecota. And then in first place, they have the Atlanta Braves. We don't know about injuries, though. That's the biggest question mark with them. Spencer Strider, is he going to be back? At least for like 20 starts, maybe, to have like a 20, my goodness, I can't speak. Like a 20-start season. Then Ronald Acuna, we don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, there's a lot of question marks surrounding the Atlanta Braves. There's no doubt that they're going to be a good team. Mike Harris is coming back, along with some other pieces before they hit free agency. Honestly, I don't really have much to say on the Atlanta Braves. They're going to be good again, as they always are. They have them at around 93 wins and 69 losses. That's honestly perfect for the Atlanta Braves. They're not going to win 100 games this year, but they're definitely going to be in the 90-win column, as they always are. But let's go to the AL Central, where in last place, the Chicago White Sox sit there, according to Pecota, at 62 and 100. We got to see them win baseball games before you can put them in the 60-win column. That sounds so demoralizing if you're a Chicago White Sox fan. I'm sorry. Still, I mean, yeah, it's just the fact of the matter, man. The White Sox, we just got to see them win before we can put them in anything crazy. I know 62 wins, that seems super crazy, but it's true if you're the Chicago White Sox. This is another one I thought was completely dog. The Detroit Tigers in 4th place at around 79 wins and 83 losses. Only a 21% chance to make the playoffs. So the Tigers went on a hell of a run. I know they got lucky. There was definitely a lot of luck involved when it comes to the Detroit Tigers making the playoffs last year. But maybe last year's team wasn't like a legit playoff contender. But this year, they got Jack Flaherty back. They actually want to trade. They had a good offseason overall. I mean, they made moves that were necessary for the roster. They bulked up the bullpen. They bulked up the starting rotation. The offense is pretty much the same. So you're telling me that the Detroit Tigers are going to be worse than last year by bulking up their rotation, hopefully getting a full year of Jack Flaherty, because the Tigers were not going to, at least they weren't winning at the time when they traded Jack Flaherty. He went to the Dodgers and he was terrible, to say the least. A full year of Jack Flaherty, hopefully, because hopefully they're going to be contending. They're only going to win 79 games. It just doesn't make sense. I disagree with. In 3rd place, Pecota has the Cleveland Guardians around 80 and 82. Are the Guardians really going to be that bad? Like only a 24% chance to make the playoffs? I really am doubting that one as I'm talking about it. I really just I disagree with it. I think losing Josh Naylor and Andres Jimenez, I don't think it's going to hurt as bad as people are saying. But then you got Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Gavin Williams with a bounce back year. Shane Bieber hopefully comes back and he's good. Yeah, honestly, man, I really don't understand that one when it comes to the Cleveland Guardians. 2nd place, they got the Kansas City Royals at 82 and 80. I disagree with this one too. I mean, they traded for Jonathan India. Their offense was maybe a bit of a problem last year. You could say that. Like, their pitching was really what got the Kansas City Royals to the playoffs. And on offense, you really had just Bobby Witt. But this year, I think you're going to get a lot of bounce-back seasons from guys like Maikel Garcia and Nelson Velasquez. But also, I mean, yeah, the Royals, they're definitely an 84-win team, I think. They're a playoff team for sure. If they were able to make it last year, they should be able to make it this year. They definitely got better for sure. They're bringing a lot of faces back from last year, so they should definitely be better than last year. And last year they were pretty good. Bobby Witt's going to have a good season, as he always does. Yeah, that's what I got. In the first place, they have the Minnesota Twins with a record of 87 and 75. I don't mind it. I know the Twins are going to be a good team this year. They just got to not choke it like last year. If you could really blame Minnesota's collapse on one player, it'd be Edouard Julien. He played maybe the worst defense I've ever seen, and it legitimately cost the Twins games. So yeah, Minnesota Twins, hopefully they avenge themselves this year. I'm looking at bounce back seasons from Pablo Lopez and all of them. Let's move to the NL Central, where there is already some BS, actually. It's actually not that bad, but second place I disagree with already. Fifth place, I got the Pittsburgh Pirates, around 75 and 87. I like it. I don't really see the Pirates being super good, but a full year of Paul Skeens probably tack on 2 wins that, so 77 and 85. In fourth place, I got the Cincinnati Reds, around 75 and 87. They're at 75.5. I'm rounding these up, by the way. Let's dig into my math class skills right here. 0.5, you round it up to 76. In this case, 75.5, you round it up to 76. So 76, but that wouldn't work. So 76 and 86 is probably what they have the Cincinnati Reds at. I don't understand it though. Like I don't get this one either when it comes to 76 wins for the Reds, because let's think about it. Rotation. You added Brady Singer. Good addition. I know you lost some guys at the trade deadline last year, but let's look at the infield, okay? You're loaded everywhere. I mean, like Jeimer Candelario, Spencer Steer, Matt McClain is coming back. Ellie De La Cruz, maybe an MVP type season loading right now as we speak. I don't get it, man. I really do see the Reds being a lot better than they were last year. And I see the Reds making a legit playoff push, and I think they actually do make the playoffs. Third place, the St. Louis Cardinals, currently projected at 77 and 85. I like it. They're definitely rebuilding right now. People have said, oh, the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs despite them rebuilding. We got to see bounce back seasons from guys like Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman before we can make that call. Mason Wynn's been amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be one of their best players this year, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, like, the rotation really does scare the hell out of me, and I think that's where St. Louis's downfall is going to be. And in second place, the Milwaukee Brewers. This is the worst one of them all. Actually, I take that back, maybe the second worst. The Milwaukee Brewers, you really think that they're going to finish 80 and 82? I know this is off like projections, so we're going off the math and like how the roster is constructed. That's kind of how I go as well. I go off last year as well. And how good William Contreras was. And how good Christian Yelich was despite playing only 70 games. How many wins he provided for the Milwaukee Brewers. A full year of Christian Yelich, hopefully he comes back. William Contreras is going to do what he's been doing. He's the best offensive catcher in the league right now. You got Joey Ortiz getting a sophomore season out of him. He's going to be amazing. Sal Frelick, you're going to get a year out of him. Then the rotation. I mean, yeah, you lost Corbin Burns, but you had a Corbin Burns-less year last year. You were able to rely on guys like Freddie Peralta to come through. Same thing with guys like Bryce Wilson. He was huge. And then Abner Uribe in the bullpen. It's going to be great out there in Milwaukee this year. I really do see them being an 85 to 90 win team this year. No less, Brandon Woodruff, he is coming back. Brandon Woodruff has been throwing at spring training, at least as far as I know. He is going to be back sometime soon. So when Milwaukee gets him back, he's a Cy Young contender. So I don't get this one either, honestly. I really would like Pecota to come in here and tell me why they have Milwaukee at 80 wins. That's a bit diabolical. But in first place, they got the Cubs. Makes sense. Kyle Tucker, all that. I don't really see them being a 90-win team like Pecota has. 91, actually, because we're rounding them. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what else to say on that one. I mean, Chicago, yeah, they're going to be a good team this year. I don't think they're going to be 90 wins. Honestly, I think they're going to be 85 wins. I don't really see them being anything super crazy this year. But they play in a very weak division, so they're probably going to make the playoffs. All right, the AL West, in last place, they have Sacramento, or in this case, the Oakland A's, because we'll just call them the Oakland A's for the sake of today's video. They have them at 71 and 91. I don't hate it, but I think they're going to be a little bit better. Because last year, I think they were a 75-win team. They were better than the Blue Jays, they won 69 games, but it was looked at as a massive improvement year because, well, based off last year, people were saying they couldn't even compete in Double-A. This year, they actually looked a lot better, especially down the stretch. Like Lawrence Butler, insane. Brent Rooker, insane. They're not going to trade him this year. Do not get caught up in the Brent Rooker being traded BS. I know Oakland had a lot of pitching rotation problems, so what they addressed in the offseason, you guessed it, the rotation. Luis Severino, Jeffrey Springs. Those are really the big two additions that they made to the rotation. Then they were also able to make some additions to the offense. I think Oakland's gonna have a good year. I think they're gonna win 74 games on the dot. Exactly. Boom. Got it. The Los Angeles Angels are in fourth. You see, the Angels had such an interesting offseason because they signed a lot of players. A lot of quality players at that. They're all super old. Like, and I know when I say that, like, my dad is 45 and we consider him a bit younger, but like, dude, for an athlete, these guys, like, for an athlete playing baseball, these guys are old. Like, the average, like, Tim Anderson, he's older. He sucks right now, but the only reason why Tim Anderson's there is to replace Zach Neto because he's going to be out for a little while. Yoel Pecota, he's like 32 or something like that. It's definitely an older team that's happening out there in Los Angeles. Anthony Rendon's going to be out for a while, but that's not going to matter. He's honestly going to be a addition by subtraction when you really do think about it. Because Anthony Rendon, he doesn't even care about baseball at this point. I don't know if you guys have seen that interview. I'm sure you guys have because, well, that went super viral. Baseball's a job. No kidding, it's a job. But at the same time, like, isn't that a little bit disrespectful, like, to your team? Dude, it's sleeting everywhere on my window. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the microphone. Maybe it's a nice, like, zin. Okay, let's go to number 3. That made no sense. But number 3, we got the Seattle Mariners. They have them at 86 and 76. I like that. Honestly, for the Seattle Mariners, that's a really good projection by them. Their pitching's going to always be good. Their offense is going to suck. At least at home. And on the road, it's going to be the exact opposite because of Seattle's elevated pitching man. At least that's a myth. And the horrible center field. Yeah, that's what I got. Number 2, the Houston Astros, 87 and 75. Alex Bregman list. I'm trying to find the other word for it. Okay, yeah. We're just going to stop. But either way, though, when it comes to Houston Astros, I mean, Isaac Paredes and Christian Walker are both going to be a combined 15 win players combined. I think Christian Walker's going to have 8, and then Isaac Paredes is going to have 7. They're both going to go off this year because of the Crawford boxes and all that. They're both amazing players. I think the Astros are going to be better than last year, despite them losing Alex Bregman and all them. But I think with the Astros getting Hayden Wesneski, Cam Smith might come up this year. Of course, Isaac Paredes, who's going to dominate with the Crawford boxes. I see a big year from Houston, especially Isaac Paredes and Christian Walker. They're both amazing fantasy options if you can get them. Bit surprising, but in first place, they have the Texas Rangers around 90 and 72. I really don't see them winning 90 games. I think injuries are going to probably dominate them again this year, especially on the pitching side. I mean, they lost Max Scherzer. They still do have Jacob deGrom. It was a bit of a cup of coffee last year, but he was disgusting in the 10 innings that he threw. But honestly, though, when it comes to Texas, they're going to win 85 games. It's not going to be anything diabolical or anything absolutely earth-shattering this year, like when they won the World Series back in 2023. Nobody expected that. But a lot of people had them around like 65 wins, including me. But they won the World Series. Currently have them at 77.7% to make it to the playoffs. They're probably going to make the playoffs again, but just a matter of how many games they're going to win in the regular season. I don't see it being as high as 90. I see it being around 85. Maybe like 86 or 87, but I don't see it being anything crazy. Last division of the day, they got the Colorado Rockies at 55 wins and 107 losses. Makes sense. I mean, what are you going to do? Like the Rockies, like they're just dominated by their pitching being terrible. Their offense is going to be good again. Chris Bryant, we don't know. Yeah, that's what I got. Michael Toya is going to have a hell of a year when it comes to Colorado. Number 4, they got San Francisco around 78 wins and 78 wins and 84 losses. I'm bugging right now. A 12% chance to make the playoffs. I like it. I don't really see much of a problem with it. And maybe they're going to be better because of Willie Adames and Justin Verlander. Giants finally brought in a good offensive piece this year, but I don't know. I don't really see them being better than 81 wins, maybe. Maybe they make the playoffs. Sung-Hoo Lee's coming back, so maybe they're actually better. Now that I start to think about it, maybe the Giants are going to be a lot better than 78 wins. Probably like 84. But in this loaded division of the NL West, what are you going to do when the San Diego Padres are projected at 3rd place with 87 wins, which will get them first in the NL Central, at least in my eyes. Maybe the AL Central, but yeah, San Diego, they're currently projected at 87 wins, a 59% chance to make the playoffs. 62% chance to make the playoffs. I like it when it comes to the San Diego Padres. I don't really see much of a problem with it. The Padres are going to be a good team again this year. They lost Ha-Seong Kim, so that might be interesting. He went to the Rays, but yeah, I mean, I see this rotation being a little bit better. I see Joe Musgrove being better. Dylan Cease is going to be better this year. Hopefully they get Yuki Matsui up there. Hopefully he pitches a little bit for them, but Yeah, number 2, Arizona, exact same projection, 87 wins. I see San Diego and Arizona being separated by 1 game, maybe 2, but it's going to be a tight race between them for sure. But honestly, though, with Arizona, I see their offense being a lot better with Josh Naylor. Their pitching is going to be a lot better with Corbin Burns. Jordan Montgomery, just freaking trade him. Like, I think Arizona's going to run with a 6-man rotation, which they should do. Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez. I'm trying to think of names right now. I'm just bugging. I'm blank right now. Oh, yeah, Brandon Pfaadt. And who's the other? Dude, I cannot think about the Diamondbacks rotation right now. I don't know what's going on. Normally, I just have this stuff right off the top of my head, but that's just not the case. Oh my god, Merrill Kelly, I'm an absolute idiot. And then Ryan Nelson. So that'd be your 6-man rotation. Ryan Nelson, you gotta get him in there for how good he was last year. And of course, on offense, Ketel Marte, Josh Naylor, Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy, Eugenio Suarez, Alec Thomas, Lourdes Gurriel. It's going to be a hell of a year for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they win 88 games while the Padres win 87. Dodgers in first place. They have them at 104 and 58. It makes sense. 99.8% chance to make the playoffs. That also makes sense. So yeah, what do I think overall about these Pecota rankings? It's either they hit them right on the money or they just completely miss by a mile. And there's absolutely no in between when it comes to these rankings. But yeah, that's what I got for this one, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure that you go check out my podcast, the Big Four Sports Podcast. Go check out my Instagram at NickEdson0307. I'll see you guys sometime later. All right, see you.